So, hello. Today I was actually going through my mind, picking my brain, thinking about what is it that America needs? What is it that us Americans need? Okay? And this goes towards a variety of different things. So, I managed to actually get a list made, typed up, and whatnot. And I'm just going to go through it. Some I'll explain, some I probably won't. And then what a possible solution to these problems could be in terms of what we all can do. All right. So I was thinking, okay, what does America need right now? Right now, 2020 is May 7th, right now. What does America need? All right. One, number one, universal health care. Health care is not something that is a luxury. That's not something that's like, oh, well, I mean, you could have it or you couldn't have it. That's something that is a basic right that everyone should be able to have. Okay? If you get sick with whatever it is, whether it's a really serious illness or maybe it's just not, maybe it's just a random cold, you should be able to go to the hospital and not have to worry about copay. I mean, that's why we pay taxes. You pay taxes, and the system is supposed to be designed so that the money goes there. So yeah, you're probably not gonna have to pay anything, or if you do, you're not paying that much. Instead, our system is not that. We have a healthcare system that is solely for profit. We have a healthcare system that all they want to do is just make money and make as much of it from you as possible. We have a society that we live in that all they care about is, can we keep this person sick? You cannot make money off of healthy people. You just cannot make money. You can't. All right. No one's gonna be buying your pills. No one's gonna be buying your drugs. No one's gonna be going through your therapies. No one's gonna be, going through any of the extra stuff if they're healthy. So it's to keep them sick, maintain that sickness, and then we're just gonna keep making money off of them. That's why when you would have here, you would see, certain things for like diabetes medication and whatnot just skyrocket through the roof. Meanwhile, you go to a different country, and this is also where medical tourism comes up, which is essentially people just traveling to other countries for certain kind of medical procedures. Maybe the country you're in just doesn't have it, or which a lot of it is, because a lot of Americans do it, who have money, of course, they'll go somewhere else where it's much cheaper as well. They're not paying. I'm not paying $200, $300 for this thing when it's $20 overseas somewhere. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go overseas, and that's what they end up doing. And I seen this whole thing where it was like, they went over, they were like, okay, here's the plan of medical tourism. Here's your ticket. Here's how much it costs. Here's your leisure days. And people were like, yeah, you could get a vacation out of it, and you could get whatever kind of medical needs that you need to get done. All right, whatever you need to get done, you can get that done there while you're having a nice vacation, and you still save money. That's why people do medical tourism. But yes, we need universal health care, because these medications, these procedures, there's so much stuff that costs so much money, and it's very unnecessary because we have a for-profit system. All right. Another thing that I was thinking about in terms of universal health care, we have a system that is not focused on primary prevention. All right, they wait to the tertiary, for example, where they're waiting until let's say you have cancer. Oh, now you got to get chemo, as opposed to, okay, well, let's check your water, let's check your food, let's check your air, because you do realize that your environment can give you problems, whether it's asthma, maybe it's cancer, whatever the case may be. And something I actually thought was interesting, I was surfing through the little channels on cable and whatnot, and I seen a commercial for Roundup, and I was like, huh. I sat back and I was like, well, let me see what's going on. And they were like, we kill weeds. Yeah, we're gonna kill weeds and not the grass. We're killing weeds, we're killing this, we're killing it all, and not the grass. We're gonna make sure the grass looks good, da 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 da, right? And I'm like, you do realize, and I don't know how it's even still legal besides lobbyists, I guess, for Roundup to still be on, the cable, for them to even have commercials, because it causes cancer. There's been, several cases where you have farmers, they'll have like these crazy, it looks like kind of like, obviously it's like a chemical burn, and they developed like serious, like terminal illnesses, cancers, but then their stuff is still able to be out. But this also goes, yes, we need universal health care, but it goes with the politics on that manner as well, as in not allowing these companies to even operate anymore. They should have just been banned and say you cannot operate here in the States anymore because your stuff is killing people. But as I said earlier, you can't make money off of healthy people, so they want this to go. Going back to my other thing of what I was saying with the whole preventative primary system with that, people aren't telling, they're not giving you education like, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this, so that you don't get sick. Here's this little tidbit of information. They wait all the way until you are sick to be like, man, you're sick. When maybe your sickness could have been, maybe if you changed out your filter more, maybe if you just didn't smoke. I mean, I get, smoking is one of those things that everyone's talking about, but other little habits you may have, maybe it's alcohol, maybe, it's whatever's in your water. Have you tested your water? Me, I don't drink regular tap water, okay? I have my stuff going through filters after filters before that stuff touches my lips, okay? So, but people don't know that. I didn't know that until I think maybe about 8 or 9 months ago. And then after that, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Because I had a Brita, but then I have this other system that works way better. And my water actually, after I had that, for the first time ever, really, my water actually tastes good. So people don't know, like, okay, well, why not just use a filtration system? Why not, cut this out of your diet? This is really bad, versus just saying, yeah, fried food, sugar, get all that stuff out. Because people are going to do it anyways. But it's a thing of moderation, teaching people, which that's something that we just lack. To be the richest country, we lack actually educating people on certain things, okay? So I was also thinking about it. I was like, and moving on, what else does America need, all right? A higher minimum wage. I believe we are at $7.25 now. Really, with the cost of housing, the cost of cars, the cost of gas, cost of food, all these other expenses which have just skyrocketed, the minimum wage, in my opinion, needs to be $25 an hour, and whatever you make retrospectively needs to increase as well. All right? There's really no other negotiation about that. You had, for example, the progressives, which is the Democrats, and that's it, who you were like, yeah, we're gonna give you guys $15 minimum wage. Yeah, we're gonna give you guys health care, $15. Yes, you guys, yes, everyone, yes. And then, it's time for the $15, and it's like, oh yeah, somehow that like got out the bill. Okay, well, what about the health care? Do you guys really need that stuff? I get it, hey, you're gonna be disappointed. That's what Nina said. Hey, you're going to be disappointed. We can't give you everything, which is universal health care, which all other countries that are comparable to ours has that. Their tax money goes towards that. Ours really does not. And you also have, the minimum wage, for example. There's no reason why we're making, you have people making $7.25. And if you're working in a tip service, for example, like a waitress or something like that, you're making less than that. All right, because they're not a part of that group. So this is going towards that. This is something else that we need. We also need a UBI. We got all this, all this advanced technology going on and everything. Yeah, we need a freaking UBI, universal basic income. Okay. Another thing we need to do: tax the rich. This is something that it really blows my mind when I see like these different little memes or these different little tweets and whatnot of people saying that, hey, if you use UPS or FedEx's service, you pay more in taxes than they did. Which is like, what? What? I only paid $16 to do this. They didn't pay anything? Wow, okay. And then you see, you have Amazon, you have all these other different companies, Walmart, and companies, and you have their CEOs or just the rich people, whether the politicians, whatever the case may be, who aren't paying really anything. If they are paying anything, you're paying way more than them. your tax percent, the amount that you're paying is way higher than the percentage that they're paying, and they make way more than you. That's insanity. That is literally, I mean, that's just crazy, you know, but it's like people aren't really talking about that, which I really don't understand. I mean, you know, they're like, oh, well, because I've seen it. People are like, oh, you know, tax the rich. Well, I mean, you see, you guys are just jealous because you're not making as much money as these people are making. I mean, anyone could be a billionaire, right? Anyone could be worth $500 million or $200 million, even $20 million, even $10 million. All right? So you guys are just being jealous. You guys, you know, they don't really, I mean, it's their money, right? That's the kind of stuff I see. That's the kind of stuff I hear coming out of people's mouths, which is insane that they even have. I mean, the fact that you can even rationalize that is just, you know, don't talk to me if that's your argument, right? But anyways, so we also need green new jobs. As we know, climate change is a real thing, all right? We are, as Graham would say, Elwood, on borrowed time, which is just 100% true, all right? So we need green new jobs. I mean, there, you know, people are using hemp, but let's use it more so. You know, I get, you know, straws, that's an important thing, and I'm happy, yeah, that there's, you know, this, you know, a change in making them plant-based, okay? But we could be doing much more than just straws, okay? I mean, I mean, there's plastic stuff everywhere, all right? Plastic water bottles. Can we make those biodegradable in any way, shape, or form? I mean, we got plastic spoons. I actually have a set of wooden spoons, but obviously they cost more. I don't mind paying a little bit more for them. I don't mind. But the point is, it needs to be a more, it needs to be exposed to everyone else in a more serious way. There needs to be like some rules, regulations on how much can we have for that. You know, we also have, you know, just the whole thing of pollution. You know, our American government is the worst polluter ever, like, in the entire world. Okay, we have so much. You know, maybe not have so much money, maybe not put trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars there or billions there, and actually help out the citizens who really need it. All right. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that you can do. I mean, nature, the answer is in nature. You know, as I've been looking around, I've been doing some reading, watching videos and whatnot, and it's like the answer is in nature. You know, you just got to find it, you know? I mean, you could, you know, make clothing out of some of this stuff. You could, I mean, you know, replace the plastics. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. You just have to find it and be willing to actually do it. But you have people, businesses, who want to cut costs on everything at the detriment of you, at the detriment of everyone. I mean, I remember watching that, it was that movie, Don't Look Up, with Leo DiCaprio. And, you know, you have people who were like, yeah, I'm going to go to, I think it was like Colorado, or wherever they were going. They were like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bunker. I'm gonna leave. Let's leave. And I'm thinking, okay, so if the earth explodes, where are you going? If the earth explodes, you're dead. And even if your bunker somehow saved you, you're still dead, because you have all types of poison and bull crap in the air that you won't, toxins, you won't be able to even breathe. The whole atmosphere would be messed up, you know? So the thing about it is, you have people who are just thinking, you know, solely individually. And that's the problem with America, Americans, is because when you look at other people, it's a whole nation. You look at us, everyone is just individual. Everyone is, you know, and I'm not referring to differences in that retrospect, but I'm referring to caring about your environment. Everything is just, oh no, it's my thing, I only care about me. My thing, I only care about me. My thing, I only care about me. Versus it's our thing. We have to actually band together and get a solution. Help each other out in that way. All right. Another thing was the whole thing on restrictions on voting rights. Need I even say anymore? I mean, seriously, they got this crazy thing, right? Where I think it was starting in Georgia. I know they did it, where it was like, if you're in line to vote, You cannot have, like, let's say you're in a line, and mind you, in certain communities, black, minority, they make it so that, you know, you have these long freaking lines, kind of to deter you from voting. And then they have a whole rule where it's like, well, if you're there and let's say it's hot outside, because you're waiting outside, it's not like you're in the lobby or anything. Let's say it's hot outside or whatever the case may be. And like, man, I'm like really parched right now. I need to quench my thirst. You cannot have anyone bring anything up to you. Like they said, we can't do that. And all this is to deter people from voting. As we've seen with this whole Roe versus Wade thing, like I said in one of my previous videos, I feel like the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to be an attack on women's voting rights next. Why not? If you control the body, why not just control the vote at the end of the day? You know, so that's another freaking thing. Another thing that I've seen, and yes, this list is long. I've had this video, I've been wanting to do it for a while, but it is a long list. Okay, we're halfway through though. So if you're still here, thank you. Another thing is corporations cannot buy single family homes, as we've seen with BlackRock. They're just buying up people's homes, all right? And then they're paying over, and then they're gonna sell it, but then they're gonna sell it at like a premium price. You know, let's say the house was only really worth $250. You know, they may sell it for $400, and they're like, okay, well, let's see what happens. You know, let's get our money as much as we can as quickly as possible, which is a problem. Another thing, with homes, we need to reduce the prices of rent or your mortgage. We cannot just keep inflating the price to where people are like, well, I can't live. I can't do anything. I don't know what I can do. I literally can't do anything. And then they're stuck. You know, I mean, this is why we have this downward spiral that we do have. Another thing, which definitely goes into this whole, individualism thing, and we need to work together, put our differences aside kind of thing, is restrictions in a total full cleanse of guns in neighborhoods. Does that mean possibly an amendment change? Maybe. But this gun violence, as we have been seeing different mass shootings that have been happening, we also have just regular shootings, and it's almost every day. Okay, in certain areas, it's almost every single day. You know, you got whoever going and randomly shooting, and they're boom, 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 and then next thing you know, you just killed 7-year-old Sarah who was on her little tricycle. Okay, you got this person over here, and then you're over here just shooting random people, hitting grandmothers who are just on their porch on their birthday. That is a real thing that has happened. People that are in their house sleeping, that is another real thing that has happened. Someone who's just on their phone parked in their car and they get shot by a stray bullet. That is another thing that has happened, and that continues to happen. So we first need to find out, how are they getting here? Okay, I think I have a hunch. But we need to figure out, how are they getting here and how can we stop it? Maybe put a FRID chip or something like that. Really, you need that. And put it in every single person's gun. And every gun that you have personally, go through the whole database and say, yo, by X date, you know, whether it's a month from now or whatever, you have to get a chip in your gun or you can't have one. And you keep doing that. And you do it for every single gun that then is being manufactured. You can't really help too much the guns that are already out, because, you know, if it's like a Ray Ray and Pookie, for example, they're not going to go and give you their gun. Okay, but any gun from then on that's being manufactured, they need to have a chip in them, so we can figure out, where did it originate from? Well, this is the factory in Des Moines. Okay, well, how did it get all the way to Chicago? And where did this thing go? Oh, okay, well, it has a little chip in it, and we can figure out, oh, you did it. You know, so it's things like that that really needs to be put in place, because gun violence in America it's out of control. It is really ridiculous. Another thing, taking the money out of politics will also help that. Ending lobbying will also help that. You have people who have their own special interest in mind, and they're like, well, if I pay enough money, I'm good. I know Maxie did a video about it was this, I'm blanking on his name right now, but how he was over here saying, it was a Republican, and he was over here saying how pretty much they have a book like, okay, well, what do you need? Well, you know, I need XYZ. Well, that's gonna cost you, let me go look. Oh yeah, that's gonna cost you $200,000, and then I'll go with whatever you want. Okay, here you go. Boom. All right, and people are just paying this money. Okay, it's a whole system that's going on. Um, you also, as I mentioned earlier, taxes, they need to be lowered. It needs, and they need to go towards something worth the damn. All right, not just keep going towards the military or going into people's pockets, because that's what I'm thinking a lot of this money is going as well. You know, just disappearing. And I mean, you look outside and you got giant potholes everywhere. You know, you look outside and you know you got Japan, who has a bullet train, which I seen this thing and I'm like, yo. Meanwhile, we have a railroad system that ain't worth a damn. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm noticing. These are the things that need to change. I would love to know what you guys think needs to change. If was I right on point? Were there some things that maybe I missed out on? Maybe some things you wanted me to explain a little bit further in detail? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. And until then.